America, it's time for some straight talk. You love your phone. Look at you. You hardly put it down. But you don't love that expensive wireless plan, do you? So what if I told you can keep that phone, network, and number 2 for a lot less? Well, this is me telling you. It's time to switch to Straight Talk, guys. Bring your own phone and get unlimited plans starting at just $45 a month on America's largest, most dependable 4G LTE networks. Straight Talk Wireless. Only at Walmart.
Savings may vary. Please refer always to the latest terms and conditions of service at straighttalk.com.
The Night King has a chooch. Spoiler alert. Guillermo, what's going on with the Marlins? The Marlins have done nothing but win games, and Giancarlo Stanton hits a home run, 2 home runs per at bat.
Dan, we are back. Not that we ever went anywhere, but we are back. Oh, Dan.
Guillermo, you texted while I was on vacation.
2 games under, 6 games back. Dan, print out your playoff tickets now. Right now. And we've been so injured. The pitching's coming around. We got rid of people. Didn't even matter. Our bullpen got stronger somehow. Except that Steckenrider guy. He had a terrible game the other day. But besides that, Dan. And we have such a favorable schedule going forward. Good schedule. By the way, the schedule makers, who I've been upset with all year, what are they doing? What are they doing with those West Coast trips that they were doing with earlier to screw us over? And now, for whatever reason, we're off today, but tomorrow we have a doubleheader against the Phillies, who are also off today. What's that about? What's that about?
So really, you wanted to come out of the box coming after the schedule makers?
No. We have 11 of the next 24 against the Phillies. You know what that's time for, Dan? Time to get fat. Yeah. Oh, Dan, you thought this team was out of it? You thought they weren't anywhere near the table. We're at the table now, people. At the table.
You are such a fool.
What?
You really are. You're a fool.
Why don't you just say you were wrong?
Yeah.
I mean, you're wrong. I mean, they're playing meaningful baseball games headed into September. There's 6 back, only 2 teams ahead of them.
What am I
You're wrong.
You didn't think the team was very good. And the 60-62 right in the mix.
They lose more than they win.
No,
that's not me
only
being,
2 games.
That's not me being wrong. They lose. They've got a guy who hits a home run every time he swings the bat the last month and a half, and they're 2 games under 500. And furthermore, I've seen this movie before. You don't win in August and September when you don't have anything at the top of your rotation.
Spoiler alert if you've seen the movie before, Dan. Come on. Let us enjoy this. Come on, Dan.
Yep.
And you were wrong about Stanton. You called him a whiffer. You said he was grande por gusto. He's not. Look at all the home runs he's hitting. He's so good.
He has been really good.
hope he goes nowhere.
Really good. Historically good.
Oh, well, hold on a second. Hold on a second. Why did I get a text while I was on vacation from you, Guillermo? I'm done with Jeter.
Oh, him. Please, get out of town already. I'm so sick of him. I was sick of him before he even got here. He hasn't even gotten here, I guess, technically. Just go away. Enough. Trying to get rid of my home run sculpture. Thank God Miami-Dade County stepped in and said, nope. Going nowhere, Jeets. Please, that guy. What a con man, by the way. He paid $25 million, is taking a $5 million a year salary. He got the team for free. All he has to do is stick around for 5 years.
Right.
He got ownership for free in a team.
It's a heady play. I give him credit on that one.
That is a Stugotz move right there, man. That was smart.
$25 million, give yourself $5 million a year. I mean, just genius. In fact, I would have given myself $25 million a year, and in 1 year, I'm even.
Yeah. Yep. And Greg Cody, what an article he wrote yesterday. Oh, one of his finest piece of writing. Whatever.
Well put, Guillermo.
Yeah. Oh,
always eloquent.
So great. Don't get rid of Stanton if you don't want to be like every other owner. Jeets. Ball's in his court now, Dan. Is he going to be better than the other owners, or is he just going to be someone else? Another owner.
Greg Cody pressuring Derek Jeter. Welcome to town. You don't know anything about tough media in New York, Jeter. Not when you get here. And Greg Cody's the gatekeeper at the front. at the front.
Guy dealt with New York media.
Yes, right. At the front of the ballpark, Greg Cody is there leaning into Jeter, putting pressure on him. Are you just like one of the other guys, Jeter? Are you a guy who will commit to $300 million to the statue who plays right field?
I've changed my tune a little. I'm going to give him a shot. I'm going to give him a shot, Dan. I'm going to be fair. I'm going to give him a shot. So far, we're off to a rocky start. We can agree with that. These rumors, they want to decrease payroll. They want to get rid of my beloved sculpture. We're off to a bad start. But until he's actually done anything, I'm going to give him a fair shot. Not like that Mattingly guy, please. By the way, the Stanton home run thing, I did a little research. You know how everyone's saying, oh, Don Mattingly had 8 games in a row he had a home run? Asterisk, please. I saw this happened over an All-Star break. So there was a break in between those games, like 4 days. He played in the All-Star game, didn't hit a home run, but it didn't count. So I guess we just continue that streak, please. Oh, Dan, I'm so fired up. I have so many Marlins things.
What the hell has gotten into Guillermo, man? What the hell's gotten into Guillermo?
Oh, no, I like it, though.
We're back, Dan. We're back.
Yep.
What's going to happen what's going to happen if they actually get a few games over 500? If this is his enthusiasm level for 2 games under 500?
I mean, they get 2 games over, they'll be right in the wild card, and that's it. They'll have that second wild card secured, man. This is exciting. It is. I mean, no one expected anything from this team except for me, Billy, and Fat Chris. Yep. And here they are playing meaningful games in September. That's all you can ask for from a baseball team that doesn't have an ace. Play meaningful baseball games late into the season, and that's what the Marlins are doing. And you should enjoy it, man.
Enjoy it, Dan. This is very similar to the Heat season last year. Right around 500. Everyone was super excited about that team. Yeah. Yep. Dan, just be happy. Why can't you be happy? Mm-hmm. Be happy. I just want you to be happy like me. Be happy.
Peaking at the right time.
Yeah. Exactly.
7 out of 10.
Dan, baseball playoffs, you just need to get hot. You just need to get hot. Anything can happen in October.
You get this way? I mean, because they've had a couple of these where they go into August at 500 or around 500, and they look like they're in it, but they're really not because they don't have the pitching at the top of the rotation. You have to have Beckett's. You have to have Kevin Brown's and Al Leiter's. Like, you have to have at the top of your rotation Jose Fernandez.
Straley's, Reñas.
Do you have to have that? Like, did the Royals win a World Series? Did they have an ace when they won the World Series recently? I'm just asking. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just wondering if you absolutely have to have that.
I mean, they had one of the best offenses in baseball, but I'm saying the Marlins themselves. Can you do it as an outlier? Yeah, I mean, of course you can. But you're going up against teams that have sure things at the top of the rotation, and you can't throw anything out there on any night that you feel like is a sure thing.
Dan, I'm just saying this. The teams in front of them are not very good. We can agree on that.
Right,
I mean,
but they're not very good. But they're not very good.
Okay, so one of these teams who's not very good is going to make the World Series. Who's ever the best of these bad teams?
You can't do what you just did to me.
What?
Where you say the Marlins are really good, but the teams ahead of them are not very good. Can we agree on that? Like, get out of here.
I agree.
Thank you.
Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's better that's ahead of us? Are the Cardinals better than us?
Nope.
Are the Brewers
the Cardinals? Now, I know Wainwright hasn't been what he was, and I know Waka hasn't been what he was, but they have stuff at the top of their rotation.
They do have stuff. I don't know if it's good stuff, but it's
better than what the Marlins have at the top of their rotation.
You're being so unfair to Conley and Reña and Straley. They're so good lately, Dan.
Do me a favor. Name a Brewers pitcher.
Guillermo, when I went on, Garza's pretty good. Garza's better than anyone the Marlins have.
Garza's still in the league?
Garza's still around?
What? Garza?
What? Look up Garza's numbers.
Get out of here.
The Garza that was at Tampa Bay?
Matt Garza, yes.
Matt Garza?
I thought he retired.
It's the same Garza? The same exact Matt Garza. The same one.
Wow.
It's not the same Matt Garza.
It can't be. There's no way. There is no way.
Matt Garza.
I'm calling his bluff.
It cannot be the same Matt Garza. And if it is, there's no way he's good.
What? Wait a minute. What's he good at? 6 and 7, 1.4 whip. What's he good at?
4.81 ERA. Get out of here. He'd be the third starter on the Marlins.
Were you looking at like another year's stats?
Maybe I was.
What's happening?
Maybe I was.
Let's see the Garza year. Did he ever have a year? Seriously.
He had 1 year. I think it might have been during the Clinton administration, but he had a year.
It was, looks like 2010. He had a year. 15 and 10 with a 3.91 ERA. Who was president then?
So, yeah, I like our chance to get Matt Garza, Dan, if that's your question.
The Brewers have one of the best offenses in baseball.
Yeah. But we were talking pitching.
Yeah, but the Brewers are better than you are.
They've only scored 12 more runs than the Marlins have.
And they've got
That's
one of the best.
game.
And they've got one of the best offenses in baseball.
Come on.
Admittedly, my Matt Garza information was off. But I'm right about the Brewers hitting. Anyway.
Checking to see if you are right.
I am right. No, I am right. I'm not going to be wrong about the Brewers' offense.
I hope you are.
I mean, it would be great for the purposes of this show if we came steamrolling out of the gate on vacation, talking Matt Garza, Brewers baseball, and getting all the information wrong. As Guillermo, just unhinged, talks more during the first segment than he has in the previous 3 months combined.
I just don't know how the Marlins are going to get past this rotation of Garza and Jeff D'Amico.
The Brewers are better than the Marlins are.
Brewers are 16th in offense in the major leagues.
No!
Middle of the pack.
No, that's not right. That is not accurate.
Well, it depends on what you look at. What do you want me to look at? Tell me. Go ahead.
Wait, why does it depend on what you're looking at?
I mean, just total team offense. They are 16th.
What kind of year is Ben Sheets having?
Hold on. This is glorious. They have the 15th most runs scored in Major League Baseball.
Wait a minute. What just happened? You went from 16 to 15?
That was total offense. Just total. They're factoring in everything. They're middle of the pack offense.
Of all the teams, why are the Brewers the team you're afraid of?
Wait a minute.
It is kind of weird.
Did the
You heard of
Brewers
the
get
Dodgers?
shut out every game while I was on vacation? Like, when I went on vacation, that team had one of the best offenses in baseball. Like, what the hell happened?
Dan Plesac started losing it.
Your baseball information is so bad. Is that all you're ever going to do on baseball? It's just the baseball you remember?
Yes.
Last time you paid attention to baseball, early 2000?
You're right about that offense. Jeremy Burnitz is crushing it.
The Brew Crew.
You have to pitch around Richie Sexton. Have to pitch around him.
I got to go look up these Brewer numbers. Like,
Let me know how Ricky Weeks is doing.
What the hell happened to the Brewers when I was on vacation? I've been on every ESPN platform this year. Anytime somebody asks me a baseball question, I go right to how good the Brewers' offense is. It doesn't matter what the question is.
Stop doing that.
Yeah, you might want to ditch that take.
Stop.
What?
Greg Vaughn isn't there anymore.
I am asking you, please. I want to find out. Like, I know that this isn't at the top of the priority list on things that happened while we were away. But can we go through the game logs of the Brewers, the last 10 games, please? Because I want to know how little scoring they've done over the last 10 to 14 games that made them go to a middle-of-the-pack offense when I knew when I stepped out of this city that the Brewers had a good offense.
Bad OPS in July.
Yeah, tough stretch.
Yeah. Jeff Jenkins, really tough month.
I'll go back to August 6th. They scored a run. They scored 4. They scored 4. They didn't score a run. They were shut out. They scored 2. They scored 10. They lost that game because of that pitching.
Bad Garza start.
Well, not certain if Garza started there. Oh, please let Garza be the starter of that game.
Please.
I'm checking
that
now.
might have been what happened to
bring it
Garza's
home.
ERA, too. That might have been the game. That might have been the game.
Just say he started,
when I
bring
left
it home.
the city, Garza was good, and then he gave up 10 runs in an outing and while I was away, and I come back and his ERA is almost 5.
It was Garza!
It's what happened.
Daddy, where do babies come from?
Honey?
Mommy went to the store.
Oh, well, you see, there's a mommy and a daddy, right?
Right.
And see, when they call Geico, they could save a bunch of money on car insurance.
Oh, really? And that makes them happy?
Yes, that makes them very happy.
That's good.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we could have this talk, sunshine.
Geico, because saving 15% or more on car insurance is always a great answer.
Dan Le Batard.
Stugotz remembered today that 790, the original incarnation, one of the options was 790 the Shark.
Yep, it was. Yeah. The ticket, the ball, the shark. And I think the wave, 790 the wave was also another option.
I think 104.3 the Squid was another option.
Stugotz.
I mean, think about that. 790 the Octopus. Rocking your puss.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on the ticket.
So the Brewers have scored fewer runs than any team in the National League since the All-Star break.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
You should still keep trotting it out there, though. The offense, no one's going to check on it. Except for us.
So, a lot of stuff got missed while we were away. I don't even know what the hell's going on in our country. Anquan Boldin has retired. Anquan Boldin makes me think of Eddie Moore. Does anyone else do that word association? Is there anything else like that you do in sports where one guy makes you think of another guy, that when you're playing word association, you think Anquan Boldin and I think of another guy, Eddie Moore, which is the Dolphins could have had Anquan Boldin.
Right.
He was a local kid. He was a, Mr. Florida in basketball and football from the Belle Glade area, and instead they took a linebacker that had like 20 tackles for his career.
When I think of Ken O'Brien, I immediately think of Dan Marino. For me, as a Jet fan, that's who. When someone says Ken O'Brien, I automatically think Dan Marino and what could have been.
When I think John Avery, I think Randy Moss.
Same thing because the Dolphins took John Avery over Randy Moss. I'm wondering because I'm doing it the reverse way, right? When you think of Randy Moss, you don't think of John Avery.
Right.
Right.
I'm doing it somehow the other way, which is terribly unfair to Anquan Boldin.
Yeah, I think Hall of Famer.
Anquan Boldin has had an amazing career. What I do to Anquan Boldin is totally unfair. He has had an amazing career, a Hall of Fame career. He has been a model citizen. He had his orbital bone shattered in his face. Well, I don't know where else you'd have an orbital bone.
Yeah, it was the one in his face, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, his face exploded.
His face exploded. That's exactly right. What are some movies where faces exploded?
Scanners. Yeah. What was that Mission Impossible movie? I think Philip Seymour Hoffman started putting bombs in people's heads.
What?
Yeah. And then you had to defuse a bomb. So someone took a bunch of those paddles, and put it to Tom Cruise's head, but he survived. Tom Cruise has actually died in the Mission Impossible movies. He was dead in the last one for about 5 minutes.
I saw that. I remember that.
He's okay, though?
Yeah, he came back. He rallied.
He was, but he was dead. It was over.
It was over. There was no more Ethan Hunt.
He was underwater. He's dead.
I have a list here of 10 movies where people's heads explode.
All right, let's. Okay. All right, let's do this.
Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction. I was going to say.
Yeah. I don't remember this. Total. Well, actually, I do now. Total Recall.
Well, yeah, his face was going.
Yeah.
Hold on a second.
It came closer. No, in Mars, it did. Some faces did explode because they were exposed to the atmosphere in Mars.
I remembered it mid-sentence. I know that's where you were going, right? Were you wondering how I didn't remember it?
I'm trying to remember which head exploded in Pulp Fiction.
Oh, it was John Travolta casually talking to the dude in the backseat of the car, and his gun accidentally went off, and they had to call the wolf.
Okay.
Now, I didn't. I watched the first 20 minutes of this movie, then turned it off. From dusk till dawn, where heads exploding.
Yeah.
Okay.
You saw the good 20 minutes,
right? The Frighteners, Mars Attacks.
Wait a minute. Why'd you give up on Dusk Till Dawn after the first 20 minutes? The first 20 minutes are good.
It's like the 21st minute. It really took a...
Well, when it became a vampire movie.
Oh, when it became you gave up on it the moment it became a vampire movie?
Yeah, it was dumb.
Wait, you're saying that? You're wait a minute. You're saying that?
That makes no sense.
Wait,
I have standards.
Holy what?
You were watching it for the character development?
I've never heard him say that. What just happened? This is the first surprise in our marriage in 7 years.
You thought you knew me?
Are you kidding me?
It was a dumb movie. I mean, a great 20 minutes, perhaps the greatest 20 minutes in the history of movie making, but after that, dumb.
Guillermo, put it on the poll. Are you stunned that Stugotz thought Dusk Till Dawn was dumb?
You thought the opening 20 minutes of From Dusk Till Dawn was better than, say, Saving Private Ryan?
It's either that or Cliffhanger.
No, Cliffhanger. He always goes to Cliffhanger.
It was very good.
It was a good 5 minutes.
It was
very limited topic for me.
It was really strong.
It is honestly one of the all-time starts to a movie. Cliffhanger. That, the original Scream, Saving Private Ryan.
floored. I just can't believe that Stugotz, all of a sudden, vampires were involved, people were dying, people were being shot at, and Stugotz was like, nope, no thank you.
That's usually where it gets good for me.
Stugotz thinks Tango and Cash is the best movie ever made. Anyway, give me some more movies where faces have exploded.
Let's see.
Mars Attack shouldn't count.
It shouldn't?
No, those are CGI aliens.
Well, hold on a second. The place that I'm going with all this, though, is which is the scene that I could then refer to as Anquan Bolden so that I don't have any more in my life anymore.
That's right.
Like so far, Pulp Fiction's pretty good.
Yep.
Pulp Fiction's what happened to him in the end zone. That was at a Jets game, right? He was with the Cardinals.
It was
where
a
his
Jets
face
game.
exploded.
RoboCop?
I don't remember that one.
I'm just giving you a description. The poor schlub's head busts like a melon all over Bodeker's windshield.
Okay, very good. Very good. Keep it moving.
I never run that.
No, wait a minute. Let me explain something to you here. You cannot do better radio than reading those little blurbs like you just did right there. You hit us with a Bodeker's face exploded on the windshield.
They don't have it for all of them.
Poor schlub. All right, well, give me every one we've got because I want to find another Bodeker.
So there's Chopping Mall. It says, good thing there were people around to witness this. There is Deadly Friend. Okay, sure, I'll allow it. You're right, I couldn't do any better. We should have stopped there.
All right.
I mean, that's the best description. That's why I went to it first.
Okay.
I didn't expect follow-ups.
My bad.
It's all right.
We're rusty.
Mars Attacks. Even Martian heads are prone to explosions, if the music is right.
Yeah. That was that old-timey song, When I'm Loving You.
Are we starting the Sueys today?
Suey Award Week. The wait is finally over. They start today.
How many categories do we have?
12? 12, is it? Is it 12? Might be 12. Might be 13.
So we're going to try and do 3 a day then?
We're going to try to do 3 today. There might be some days where there are 2. But today, I think we're going to do Limited Fake, Story, and Best Laugh.
Nice. A lot of people are saying Jake Long, Matt Ryan. A lot of people on the text are saying Jake Long, Matt Ryan.
Do the Heat have any of those for you?
Well, who'd they take? Who went after Beasley?
I don't remember any faces exploding on the Miami Heat.
Do the Miami Heat have any of those for you? Because it seems like, are the Dolphins the only one who do that? Randy Moss,
Jameer Nelson. Jameer Nelson. I was hoping that we'd get him.
Well, was everyone on board with Beasley? That's the guy?
Well, Beasley... You had to take Beasley in that draft. He was the clear number 2. The problem with that draft is that you lost the lottery, and Rose went number 1. But yeah, if you look back, you see Kevin Love and Russell Westbrook. Hindsight, but nobody was clamoring for those guys to go number 2.
What are we doing for our watch party here? We are going to do McGregor, Mayweather. We're going to do this. The audience has demanded it, so we're going to do Saturday the show. We haven't done one of these in a while. Wow, when was the last time? We haven't done one of these in a while where we do a watch party and the show goes out to do something at Gulfstream. So if you want to hang out with the show, Mike, do people have to RSVP? How does this whole thing work?
Nope, they don't have to RSVP. We'll be at Frankie's Sports Bar in Gulfstream Park on Saturday night, 10 p.m.-ish.
And that's it? We don't
Come on out.
No, so no cover,
come on
nothing.
Out.
Just come out.
I know a lot of people are, because Frankie's is a great spot, I know a lot of people are planning on going out there for the fight, so I would get there really early. Have yourself a nice time at Frankie's Sports Bar Restaurant. Have a hell of a bill and enjoy what might be a sideshow attraction.
Yes. I mean, every time I look up at the television and see McGregor training, I'm like, what the hell's he doing? His hands aren't fast enough. Like his hands, he's just.
I think he's trying to throw everyone off.
Yeah. Did you see that Zab Judah fake news thing?
I've got to root for. Hold on, just a second. I've got to root for McGregor to try and cheat and dirty it up.
Yeah, there is a roundhouse that's going to be making an appearance at some point.
Right, yeah. Just, or in clenches, trying to break his arm or something. Just anyway, what were you saying about Jabs?
There was this Zab Judah. Honestly, Jab Judah is a much better name for a boxer.
Yeah.
And a Brewer's ace.
Actually, go ahead. Guillermo, put it on the poll, please. What's a better name for a boxer? Zab Judah or Jab Zuda?
I think Jab Zuda.
All right.
There was this report that Jab Zuda knocked out Floyd Mayweather in a training session because Zab tried to emulate what Conor McGregor is expected to do in this fight, which is just go crazy and start the fight off completely unorthodox and just come at him from all angles.
He is, right? He is going to just God knows what he's going to do. He might sort of throw a Molotov cocktail at him.
And the unverified report also goes on to say that after this happened, because Mayweather was knocked out cold, once he came to, he kicked everybody out of the gym and demanded everybody get out of his way. And I think it was sort of leaked out by some people to make it an interesting fight. Hey, McGregor has a chance.
Well, here's the thing, Mike. I don't think that I've ever heard this before. Floyd Mayweather may be the most arrogant athlete of my lifetime. Athlete. I'm going to start calling him an athlete. Maybe the most arrogant athlete of all time was saying that McGregor should be favored, that he's lost a step, that he's younger, he has more reach, he's fought more recently. And I'm watching that, and I'm like, Floyd, you're lying to me. Floyd, you're just trying to sell this for life. Floyd, what are you doing? You're arrogant, Floyd. Like, why are you telling me that he should be favored? What are you talking about?
He's trying to bring his price down.
Yeah. Yes, he is, so he can bet on himself.
Honestly, I've never heard him do that. Because we know, Floyd, liar, athlete. What do you think, Mike? Should I just start calling Floyd one of the world's greatest athletes?
Yeah, you have the green light as far as I'm concerned. That and Jab Zuda. You're good there.
Jab Zuda is a better name for a boxer.
Much better.
Right. Yeah.
You've racked up like $10 in fines this segment.
Have I? What do I get fined for?
No, you don't get fined for misspeaking.
Yes. Well, I mean, you got some names wrong, but you enhanced the name, so therefore we owe
better.
you. Yes.
Yeah, we owe you dollars. Anquan Bolden retired, and I think we all found out he was the bill just now.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he didn't do anything for them, right? Except go through training camp.
He went through training camp, yeah.
And just said to himself, oh, it's Buffalo. It hurt.
That happens a lot. Happened to Jerry Rice, or Dominic Foxworth kicked him out of the NFL, essentially, because he was a Bronco, and he couldn't keep up. Those weird veterans that signed those one contracts, and in training camp they realized, I'm not doing this. Reggie Wayne was another one. He ended up with the Patriots, and he's like, nah, I'm too old for this bleep.
What is that? What do you think's happening there?
I think my body can do it. My body feels good. I went through an entire offseason, and they get into camp. Nah, I can't.
But I'm curious because all the guys you mentioned, I think, were skill guys. Like, I kind of understand that if it's a guy who plays one of the more physical positions where he's like, oh, this hurts too much. Ugh. But I don't, you mentioned wide receivers is all you mentioned.
Yeah, but wide receivers, typically, this doesn't apply to Anquan Bolden, but typically they have speed and they're really in tune with what their body used to be able to do. And there was such an extreme drop-off as you aged.
Did it happen with Andre Johnson, too? Did that happen with Andre Johnson?
Yeah, man. Andre, well, he quit in the middle. He got it past camp, but he did retire as a Tennessee Titan.
Did he play that full season, though?
No. A couple weeks into the season. Right. I'm not embarrassing myself as a Tennessee Titan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm not going to be the guy that people go through the depth chart and say, he's there?
Watch party, again, Saturday night.
Gulfstream Park, Frankie's. It's a big day for $7.90 the ticket at Gulfstream Park that day. Make it an all-day thing.
We have not done this in a long time. So if you want to hang out with the show Saturday night, you can do so.
You're going to be there, right?
Yes. Yes. Mayweather and McGregor. I don't know about Stugotz, though.
Appearance fee?
Dan Le Batard.
This is quintessential Stugotz. Hobnobbing with people in Utah. What's the most ambiguous general sentence I could give these Utah fans? I got it. If Rudy Gobert can stay healthy, you guys are on to something. And that's not the quintessential Stugotz part. This is 5 months later. Told you so.
Stugotz.
That is quintessential Stugotz, man. Just give them a sentence that doesn't mean anything and then make sure to keep tabs on it so 6 months later you can say you were right about something. Even though what you originally said wasn't right or wrong, it's just a sentence.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on the ticket.
I planned to talk some Stanton this segment because what he's doing right now is overwhelming, and I do wonder why it is that we've arrived in a situation where Aaron Judge is viewed as this phenomenon that has no precedent when Aaron Judge has been playing baseball in Miami for, what is it now, 7 seasons?
Where Stanton's been playing baseball in Miami.
No, I'm saying Aaron Judge.
Okay.
Aaron Judge has existed in right field for the Marlins.
Yes.
And if Giancarlo Stanton had been playing in New York, he would have been viewed as an unprecedented player. But instead, because Aaron Judge is playing in New York, he was getting all the stuff. Mm-hmm. Like he's not a lot different from Stanton. He actually strikes out a lot more than Stanton.
He does. It is. I mean, but that's to be expected, right? Like you do it on the Yankees, it's going to be a bigger deal than if you do it anywhere else.
No, but yes, agreed. You're going to have more stardom if you're playing in New York, although, that doesn't seem to matter very much in basketball anymore, what city you're playing in.
No, it doesn't. But in baseball, it still does, because it's more of a regional sport, I think.
Maybe even if what you're saying is so, though.
It has mattered with Porzingis. If you look at his stats, he probably shouldn't be as popular and a unicorn, pointed to as a unicorn, if it weren't for that New York market.
So New York still helps, but the idea that Aaron Judge had no precedent in terms of power. Now, I do think Aaron Judge is stronger than Giancarlo Stanton, and you've heard me say that Giancarlo Stanton, to that point, was the strongest player I'd ever seen hit a baseball.
Right.
But what Aaron Judge is, Giancarlo Stanton has been for a good amount of time now.
No doubt, but Judge is doing this. Like Stanton's rookie year was not this. It was good, but it wasn't this. Mm-hmm. It wasn't what Aaron Judge is doing. Mm-hmm. So I think that kind of factors in.
No, agreed. Yeah, good point.
Because Stanton, but also Stanton didn't get the at-bats. That first season, Stanton had 22 homers and 60 RBIs, 833 OPS.
But I'm also talking about just the length of the Paul Bunyan stuff. The
right.
stuff where Aaron Judge is viewed as, here comes this savior to save baseball, and that guy has existed for several years before that and isn't viewed that way, even though he's all the same things. Like, is there anything about Aaron Judge you could say that Giancarlo Stanton isn't outside of New York? I'm talking about all of it. Like, giant guy, handsome, strapping, all of the stuff, ethnicity, not just white, has some flavor.
That's one way to put it. I think you're safe.
You're good, man.
All right, let's move on here because I didn't mean...
What type of seasoning?
Yeah, let's just shift it slightly. What happened, Mike, last week? What were you telling me during the break? Listen to this, Stugotz. Do you know this story? Mike was telling me about the second worst thing that happened to him last week.
I do not know this story, no.
Which is the second worst thing that happened to him last week.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Mike, you tell the people so I don't get any of the details wrong.
So Clinton Yates was filling in for us all week last week, and we were prepping for the show. And right before the show, he mentioned something about this ESPN slave auction thing that was blowing up on Twitter, and I wasn't familiar, so I had to take a moment to familiarize myself with it, and then I reached out to Liam, as I do whenever I get a heads up on something that might be controversial in-house, to get more details on this and just to give them the heads up that we're going to talk about it, because it was something that needed to be discussed. ESPN even put out a statement following it. But it was very late in the game in terms of giving somebody a heads up. So the first segment hit, and Clinton's going in, and he's talking about it, bouncing some stuff off of me. And during the segment, Liam realizes that he just heard word back from our people in Bristol, and he needs to relay some stuff to Clinton Yates so we can talk about this more delicately while we're on the air doing a live show. So Liam tells me, hey, just sort of fill here while we talk to Clinton. And I do my awkward best to just pull words out of my butt. But it's an ideal situation because whenever you do that, you want to be talking about slave auctions, right? I think we can all agree that's where you just want to be riffing it.
So they so they said Phil, and you lost your host, and now you're on national air
I lost my host momentarily as they're talking to the host and giving him copy points and giving him more background because.
But
it was
how long
important.
were you? How long were you yammering for?
I was yammering for about 15 to 20 seconds. It honestly wasn't that long, but when you're talking about a slave auction, it's an eternity.
Right, it felt like 15 months.
Yes, but that was the second worst thing that happened to me last week because the first worst thing that happened to me last week was you mentioned losing the host. We actually did. Because Clinton was dialed in from D.C., we were producing from Miami, everything was getting fed to Bristol. It's a very complicated production. All week we were doing these interviews with guys from The Bachelorette that I knew nothing about, I didn't care about, but we had DeMario and Waboom on, so why not have Eric from The Bachelorette too? And
Can someone explain this obsession to me? I mean, we'll get to your story in a second, but why is The Bachelor confuses me? It just confuses me why that show is still so popular. And why it is that everyone at this network is talking about it. This network specifically, unlike
ABC.
Well, it's ABC. Yeah.
But is that why?
ABC.
That's
there's
one
a
of the
fantasy
reasons.
league,
Yeah.
so there's a partnership, obviously.
But nobody's ever told us to sell something that's on ABC.
No, nobody has. But they do have a fantasy league, but so many people on this network are genuinely huge fans of The Bachelor and The Bachelorette.
Anyways, I'm sorry.
And it's always nice to see people fall in love. I mean, it is.
That is true.
And there's that.
Okay. So we're closing out our week with an interview with Eric from The Bachelor I kept calling it The Bachelor because I don't care.
Right.
I get him on the phone. I talk to his manager. These people have managers now.
Right.
And we hit the rejoin, and there's music playing.
These people have managers now.
Yeah.
Gabriel, put it on the poll. Should these people have managers now?
So we hit the rejoin, and Clinton's reading a Sports Center on the way in, and then all of a sudden, Clinton's no longer reading the Sports Center. So 10 seconds of music pass by where I'm essentially in the talkback going, hello? Clinton? You good? Hello? So it becomes abundantly clear that Clinton's not coming back anytime soon.
You're talking, while trying to hold afloat a radio show, you're a guy.
So we have,
your only power is to be able to be like a guy talking on his cell phone like in a tunnel.
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Hello? So,
can you hear me now?
Hello?
This segment can go one of two ways. I continue playing De La Soul for an entire segment, and we don't explain where Clinton went, and we just go to break. Or we make the most of it because we have to explain why the voice just stopped talking. And we have Eric from The Bachelor on hold. So I turn on my mic, and I'm like, hey! Welcome back to The Right Time with Bomani Jones, Brian Windhorst. Like, I do my best Shannon. And Clinton doesn't dial in for an entire segment. I end up doing a 15-minute interview with Eric from The Bachelor where I just press him on why he has a manager and is he just there to give you nightclub appearances and how does that whole thing work? Okay. Did not respect it at all, but it actually worked out, I think. At the very end, Clinton came back. It was a big help. To say, hey, I'm back.
Did you feel like you did a good job? Like
it was the best Bachelorette interview of the week.
Well, how was it for you guys last week? So Clinton was never here. He was doing it always
all
from Washington?
DC. It was a complicated production because the first 2 days of the show, Christopher Cody and Billy Gill went up to Bristol. I'm sure they have their own stories from that. It's always a complicated production. Not as complicated when you've removed Ryan Hollins from the equation.
Can you guys give me some information on your trip to Bristol? Neither one of you had ever been, right? Fat Chris and Guillermo had never been to Bristol before?
It was our first time there. It was awesome. We saw Michael Eaves in the calf. We saw Stephen A. Smith doing his radio show. We didn't talk to him, of course, but we saw him.
Got to picture him, though.
Explain how Stephen A. is on display for tour groups.
So, you got a picture of him, you said?
Yeah. Well, okay. So Stephen A., all the radio studios are like normal radio studios where they're, like it's a door, you go in and you can't really see and maybe there's like a little glass. But for whatever reason, Stephen A. is in like this glass. It's almost like a display case. Sorry. And like, I guess because they walk tours by there and they, you want to see Stephen A. Smith. And I heard that before he used to be like in a regular radio studio, but they created this just so people could see Stephen A. doing his radio show. Now, They say don't take any pictures, so obviously, we have to follow the rules, not take any pictures of Stephen A. But there's a break room right across the hall from Stephen A's display place, and there's glass at the top of this room, and I realized if I hold my cell phone high enough over the fridge, I could take a picture of Stephen A., and he'd be none the wiser. So I did that. Just between us, though, because there's no pictures of Stephen A.
Why did you do that?
Well, I need to show people that I saw Stephen A., Dan.
Big star.
Yeah.
What kind of picture is that you now have on your phone?
It's so good. I was super nervous because you could see my reflection off the glass taking the picture of Stephen A., so people would know it was me.
I wish you'd gotten arrested.
Well, Dan, come on.
Picture policy is a little ridiculous, no?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Jeez.
We also walked right by Jeremy Schaap.
Oh, Jeremy Schaap. It was such a fun time because the fantasy marathon was going on, so Fantasy Island was going on, and a lot of people had guests. Jeremy Schaap was one of them. We saw the boss from The Office. We saw so many people, Dan. Seth Rollins was there. We didn't talk to him. Got a picture of him from far away, too. Through a building. Second floor looking down.
Eric Carabell used my headphones.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Put those away, man. I wouldn't use them ever again. Yeah.
Put that in your Twitter bio.
Yes.
I produced for Dan Le Batard Show, and Eric Carabell once used my headphones.
We saw so many people, Dan.
Wait a minute.
Carabell.
You took a picture of Seth Rollins.
Yeah, you want to see it? I'll send it to you. Hold on.
Yeah, tweet it out, please.
How far away from Seth Rollins?
We were on the second floor of the Sports Center building, which we weren't supposed to be in, but we snuck onto the set. Very sneaky. Dan, the key is just look like you belong, walk with a purpose, and you can get anywhere if you dress nice enough and have a backpack.
Just have a backpack.
I love that our show just doesn't belong there.
No one even knew where the set was. We're like, can you take us to Sports Center?
So much that right in the middle of everything they're doing is our crud. With these two clowns wandering around taking pictures of Seth Rollins from another building.
No one fits in less than the guys from our show.
I know. You're saying act. You're saying all you got to do is walk with a purpose and act like you belong there while taking a picture of Seth Rollins from another building.
No one saw it, Dan. There's no one around. Yeah.
I just see an arm reaching over a cabinet.
Oh,
you don't know what it's
slick.
attached to. Taking a picture of Stephen A. Smith.
I hope you didn't see it.
Are you embarrassed by this? By their actions?
I'm both.
Because if no one saw it didn't really happen.
I'm both embarrassed and delighted. Both
it's so
somehow.
much fun. We were on smoking break with Mikey C on Weekend Observations. That was fun.
I mean, Dan, if a tree falls in the woods and no one's there to hear it, then it didn't happen.
That's not true at all.
Well, it is. Technically.
It's not technically true. It's not any kind of true. If a tree falls in the forest, a tree has fallen in the forest.
Poll question.
Dan, there's a hallway.
What do you mean, poll question?
Put it on the poll. If a tree falls in the woods
and no one
is there to hear it,
did it happen?
Did it really fall?
Okay.
Put it on the poll.
All right, fine. Put it on the poll.
Dan, there's a hallway where you could pick a school's fight song and it just plays. Oh, my God. FIU's fight song was playing so much in Bristol those 2 days. Was dancing.
Did you guys check out the helmet cage?
No.
You didn't see the helmet cage?
No.
There is a cage. It is locked. You got to get a security guard to let you in. I did. I spent hours in there, okay? And perhaps I took a helmet. But I'm telling you, there is a cage full of helmets. Every helmet in the NFL and college football is sitting right there for you. Right there.
What's so funny is Stugotz is the exact same way. Maybe worse when he goes to Bristol.
I know. I love that our show is just up there fanboying and doing inappropriate things, and I wish that you'd been whisked off by security for trying to take a picture of Stephen A. Smith, a colleague of yours.
Not trying. I got it. I got that picture.
But no one saw it, so it didn't happen.
No, he's got the picture. Shh. What? What do you mean? Shh. What do you mean? Shh.
A terrible contribution.
Got a picture of the guy from The Office, too, if you want that. I was pretending to take pictures of buildings. I'll send you all of these.
We saw Trey Wingo and Ryan Clark just strolling down a hallway, having a casual conversation.
Nice. Al.
Hello?
Hello. Hello. Clint. Hello.
Hello. Did anyone recognize you guys?
No, they didn't.
Tell them why no one recognized you guys.
No one recognized us because we were in adult clothes, basically. We were wearing dress pants, a dress shirt, and didn't have hats on, so no one knew who we were.
Ryan Russillo shook my hand, and I had met him like a month earlier, and he didn't remember who I was.
Did your hand come off? What? That guy's got a firm handshake, man. He tries to tear your arm out of your socket.
Yeah, he's got a strong grip.
Yeah, he does.
We met Will Kane, lovely guy.
He was so nice.
Good looking.
Everyone says that about Will.
So nice.
So
He's
nice.
very nice.
He actually knew who we were after he put it together, yeah. Or he pretended to. He's so nice.